are free to air on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Coming up this afternoon, NDC flag bearer blames Akufo-Addo's government for the current woes in the health sector, adding resources pumped into stalled Agenda 111 hospital projects could have been better used to improve existing hospitals, especially those managed by religious bodies. Also this afternoon, Chairman of Subsidiary Legislation Committee demands a return of fees and charges regulation to Parliament after government failed to listen to his committee's recommendation not to increase the cost of dialysis treatment. Plus, Social Security and National Insurance Trust SNIT denies claims of foul play in its decision to sell 60% stake in its hotels to the Food and Agriculture Minister, Dr. Brian Echampo. We'll hear from the Northong MP Samuel Okujeto-Ablakwa, who was petition charged to investigate allegations of conflict of interest. Plus, also have an anti-graft perspective on the matter. We also live on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and X Spaces on Joy News on TV. My personal handle is @TheNana Aisha. Please do stay for details. This afternoon, flag bearer of the opposition NDC, John Dramani Mahama, is blaming the current woes in the health sector on what he describes as the Akufo-Addo's government's duplication and creation of rivalry in healthcare delivery in the country. According to Mr. Mahama, who was addressing the Christian Council, said the resources pumped into the stalled Agenda 111 hospital projects could have been better used to improve the existing hospitals, especially those managed by the religious institutions, rather than constructing new facilities. He's, however, promising that his government will collaborate with the religious bodies to enhance healthcare delivery and education in the country if re-elected.
Churches are very active in terms of the establishment of health institutions. And so here again, government and the church have the same objective, and that is to provide quality health to our people. And so we cannot be adversaries, we cannot be rivals in terms of that. And so I remember when I was president, I announced that where we have a properly functioning mission church, we will not go and put a rival public church in the community. The money we would use to set up another hospital, we will not put a rival hospital in the community. The money that we would spend to establish a new hospital, we can use to expand the facilities of the mission hospital so that it continues to provide service. Unfortunately, under the 111 policy, that has not happened. In many places, they are properly functioning mission churches, but the state has gone to put, yet the government has gone to put a rival government hospital, investing a lot of money to build a whole new hospital, when we could have put that money into the existing hospital managed by the churches. And so it creates a duplication of efforts, it's a duplication of application of resources. And so it's something that we need to look at. And my thinking is that we must forge a new partnership in the health system in respect of the public hospitals and the church-run hospitals.
Chairman of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament, Dr. Dominic Ayine, is requesting that the Finance Ministry resubmits the fees and charges regulation that has led to the increase of dialysis treatment. The price of the service has shot from 380 cedis to 491 cedis, with kidney patients warning they will all die if the price increase is not reversed. Dr. Dominic Ayine explains his committee was opposed to an increase, but the Finance Ministry proceeded to lay the instrument regardless. Parliament can only reject such instruments with 2/3 majority of the House.
When the teaching hospitals appeared before the committee to justify the cost of providing dialysis services, we asked them why they sought to increase the cost of providing services for dialysis patients. And they told us that the prime mover of the cost was taxes. The import duties on the equipment, the import duties on the reagents, VAT, national health insurance, taxes, and so on. So, Mr. Speaker, as chairman of the committee, I advise them that they should take out all the taxes and the cost will drop, and that the committee wasn't going to agree to an increment, and that the Ministry of Finance should take out all the taxes. In fact, it was my colleague, Mr. Honorable Anhiefo, the Honorable Member for Akachi South, who said government should be subsidizing dialysis, services, and rather than increasing the cost. So, Mr. Speaker, when the instrument was laid, Mr. Speaker, this is the volume. Yes, and as chairman of the committee, Mr. Speaker, you can speak to my secretariat. I diligently read every section of this document, and I was pointing out, and the Honorable Abinao said, is my witness, where the Assembly Press will print a document and bring to the secretariat. And Mr. Speaker, I will look at it and say, no, this is not what the committee recommended. Sometimes they will reprint the old version and bring it. So as time was going on, Mr. Speaker, I told them that there were a lot of errors and time had run out on us. And therefore, they should bring an addendum for us to correct the errors, including this issue of dialysis.
Meanwhile, Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagman concedes the situation is worsening the plight of kidney patients and has directed the Subsidiary Legislation Committee to deal with stakeholders to come to some agreements and report to Parliament.
I'm also very conversant with the topic. It's really a killer in the country, and so many people have so far been lost as a result of this cost issue. I myself lost some people because we couldn't pay for the cost. And so I even made efforts to try to get some into this country for our various hospitals as a speaker. But because of the cost, how to handle the issue of cost due to the poverty situation, it's not been easy. Now we are caught up with this because looking at the volume of the instrument, it's almost impossible for one to have been so meticulous that after a final one has been brought, you go through and ensure that all the T's and the dots have been put in place. So what I can say is to apply Order 93, Rule 6. I will direct the Subsidiary Legislation Committee just to follow up to the agencies involved and hold some discussion with them to see how some action could be taken in this matter. That's the only thing I can say. Just follow up on it. It's Subsidiary Legislation Committee, not the Health Committee. But we can't do anything now because that is the law and it's being implemented. But it's really unfortunate. The country will have to look at this seriously.
Now, the Social Security and National Insurance Trust, SNIT, has denied any foul play in its decision to sell a 60% stake in its hotels to Rock City Hotel, owned by Food and Agriculture Minister Dr. Brian Champon. This comes after North Tongue MP Samuel Ogujeto-Ablakwa petitioned the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice to investigate allegations of conflict of interest, abuse of power, and procurement breaches in the sale of 6 hotels. The hotels include Labadi Beach Hotel, La Palm Royal Beach Resort, Elmina Beach Resort, Rich Royal Hotel, Busia Beach Resort, and the Trust Lodge Hospital. A statement issued by SNIT denying the allegations. I'll be sharing the excerpts of that statement with you. The trust is seeking to partner a strategic investor to raise capital to invest in the hotels and also assist in their management. The primary objective of finding a strategic investor is to increase efficiency, profitability, shareholder value, and the long-term sustainability of SNIT pension scheme. There is more in the graphics. He says, they say the trust commenced the process with the engagement of a transaction advisor through the ICT method of procurement, with publication of advertisements in the Daily Graphic on 14 November 2018 and the Ghanaian Times 15th November 2018. The advertisement was also published in an international magazine, The Economist, in its January 5th to 11, 2019 edition. SNIT goes on to say, as of January 16, 2019 deadline, 15 firms had expressed interest in submitting bids. Of these, 6 were shortlisted and issued with requests for proposal documents. Approval was sought from the Central Tender Review Committee for the selection of a transaction advisor on December 12, and that was granted on December 24, 2019. Following the selection of the independent transaction advisor to guide the selection of a strategic investor, amongst others, further advertisement for an expression of interest for a strategic partner for SNIT hotels were placed in the Daily Graphic on February 3, 2022 and Ghanaian Times February 7, 2022. The advertisements were also published on the 26th February in The Economist magazine. A total of 9 companies responded to the advertisement, submitting proposals on the 23rd March deadline. 6 out of the 9 were then shortlisted and issued with requests for proposal. The qualifying firms were invited for the opening of their financial proposals. Based on the technical and financial evaluation, the Rock City Hotel emerged the best. Okujeto Ablakwa, who was petition charged to look into the matter, says that is the explanation from SNIT is far from the truth.
Fails to address the issue of how Rock City was selected. You cannot just claim that Rock City presented the best financial and technical proposals, and all the other 14 were not qualified. Where is the evidence? SNIT does not provide the evidence. If you look at their own statement, they say that they started this procurement process in November 2018. They are silent on what happens to the deal. So it is clear that if we all, and the Ghanaian people, and you see, I keep saying we are not angry enough. If we don't rise up, if organized labor, the people who work in these hotels, who are about to lose their jobs, if they don't rise up and make sure that SNIT does not go ahead and finalize this deal, it will become very difficult to reverse. That is why I promptly, last Friday, went to SHRAT. So I'm hoping that SHRAT itself will act expeditiously. I'm also hoping that President Akufo-Addo himself, these are his appointees. Those who are selling, the one buying, they are all his appointees. President Akufo-Addo told us that those who want to do business, who want to make money, they should stay in the private sector. What does the president say about people violating that warning that he gave to his own appointees? His agreed minister is here, not in the private sector, right in government, in cabinet, doing business, taking over hotels that belong to the people of Ghana. And President Akufo-Addo is quiet. Why is President Akufo-Addo quiet? When his own appointees are violating his directive that if you want to do business, if you want to make money, stay in the private sector. Your own agreed minister has violated Article 78, Article 98 of the Constitution. Brazenly doing business, conflict of interest business, and you are looking on. What kind of president is this?
Well, I've been joined by Vitus Azim, who is an anti-corruption campaigner. Grateful for your time, Mr. Azim. This is not the first time we're hearing of conflict of interest matters by government appointees. Your thought on this latest revelation?
Yes, you see, this is a politically exposed person. And SNIT is a workers' fund. How do you establish or open hotels and decide to give 60% management control to a private company, and you yourself you are giving 40%? Did they even give opportunity to individual workers to buy smaller shares and eventually own the hotel? What is their motive? That's the first thing you ask. Then the second thing is, did they say the way procurement process? How transparent was it? If you as a journalist should write SNIT for the procurement papers, would they give it to you? Did this man declare his assets at the time he was assuming office as the owner of those, of the money that he's using to procure those hotels? Is he in a position to pay fully for this hotel? Has he registered with the Internal Revenue Service, the Ghana Revenue Authority, as a business person and has been paying taxes on the income that he's earning? Has he got the necessary approval from Parliament to engage in this type of business? There are so many questions that we need to ask. And I think that's what SRAG should be looking at.
How do we deal with such conflict of interest matters, especially because we've seen it in previous governments and now in this government too?
We should ban people in public office engaging in private business, especially acquiring state assets. You can do your private business, but why should you go and purchase public offices or public assets for your business? And especially 60%, that is more than half of the ownership of those hotels. Why would I start my own business and sell 60% of it to one institution to take full control over it? If the 60% has been spread over a number of companies, then SNIT could still say that we have 40%, we have majority shares. But now you have handed over all the majority shares to one company. He's a politically exposed person. He's known as prominent member of the ruling party. Why are we handing over our state assets to individual companies to take over and manage? And then at the end of the day, we should be crying about state capture. But when you do that, now the government is going to hold a workshop. You direct that they should go to your hotel and do it. So they can earn more money to use for your campaigns. In effect, I suspect the party has a benefit in this as well, not just the individual. And that is the worry that we should have.
I'm grateful for your time. Vitus Azim is an anti-graft campaigner, and he says we must look into conflict of interest issues, especially as we get into the elections. Now, the government has stepped in to support the victims of the tragic premix fuel explosion in Injuresia in the Secondary Takoradi metropolis. The explosion, which occurred on Saturday, May 18, 2024, has left several individuals critically injured. The MPP parliamentary candidate for Sikado Ketan constituency, Charles Bisu, announced that the government will cover the medical bills for those undergoing surgeries.
Those critically injured, 2 have been referred to Kolebu Teaching Hospital and a young girl to Interberton Hospital in Cape Coast. In a show of solidarity, NPP parliamentary candidate for Sikado Ketan constituency, Charles Bisu, visited the victim at Ifeanyi Regional Hospital and St. Benedict Hospital. He consoled the family of the deceased and assured that the government would cover all medical expenses for the victims.
We're going to come back. Like I said, it's not about political party politics. It's about politics where we have state institutions that have been triggered. The Ministry of Health, the ambulance service, have ferried 2 people there. The Ministry of Health, again, have taken care of the 16 people. Other agencies that are relevant to it will do that. The mayor came here yesterday and then said the government, with the regional minister, we spoke, the government is going to foot the bill for that, but that shouldn't happen again. And with this, we should learn from it and then actually ensure that this health and safety within our fishing communities. We are going to ensure that it is done properly and then replicated across. So basically, all that has happened for the families that have lost their loved ones, we actually wish them, we're praying for them. Our thoughts are with them. We're going to go and visit them and see what's happening. But I was told that most of the people that got injured are within the same family. And so it's not, like I said, it's not about politics. It can be a family member or anything like that. So it's about human lives that we're dealing with. And I believe that what has happened would not happen again if we do the right thing.
Meanwhile, the Western Regional Director of the National Disaster Management Organization, Abdul Ganiu, visited the scene to assess the damage. He emphasized the need for increased safety education in coastal communities to prevent such incidents in the future.
NADWA, as you always know, we continue to educate people concerning issues of this nature. And as I said earlier on, we are going to continue to educate the people to handle fuel that goes into the manufacturing work of the fishing. Fishmongers are here, fishermen are here, all other workers are here. We are going to work together to make sure that education will continue so that people, life and property will be safe here.
Efforts are underway to ensure the victims receive the necessary care and to enhance safety measures to prevent future incidents. In Athalia Konsa, Joy News, Western Region.
One person has died and several members of the President Akufo-Addo security team injured after the president's convoy was involved in an accident on the Accra-Kumasi highway. The crash occurred when the convoy was returning from Kumasi after accompanying the president to Kumasi for the funeral of the late MP for Ejiso John Kuma. The president is unharmed as he traveled back to Accra with a military aircraft. A statement from the presidency on the accident reads, and I'll be sharing with you shortly, which is coming on Sunday, 19th May 2024. Several vehicles belonging to the president's convoy were involved in a fatal accident along the Bonsua-Chimasafo stretch of the Accra-Kumasi highway. The unfortunate incident occurred while the convoy was on its way back from Kumasi after accompanying the president to Kumasi for a series of events this weekend. Tragically, one of the drivers, Mr. Kwesi-Atta, has lost his life. Additionally, several close protection and police officers from the president's security detail have sustained varying degrees of injuries and received initial treatment at the Home Government Hospital. The injured persons are currently being evacuated to the University of Ghana Medical Center for further treatment and observation. Several vehicles in the convoy have also been completely wrecked as a result of the accident. I've been joined by Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, Engineer David Osafo-Adonten, for more. Mr. Adonten, you must be worried about this latest deaths on our roads. Mr. Adonten, kindly unmute for me.
Yeah, so good afternoon, Aisha, and good afternoon to all cherished viewers. And indeed, this is not a story that will excite anybody. We are highly worried because these crashes issues we are talking about is now climbing high to such high profile, group within society. So indeed, we are worried. We are worried.
Many have expressed worry over the speed with which these presidential convoys often move. Is it difficult for that speed to be reduced, especially when it has to do with high-profile persons?
Indeed, we are looking at two things: safety and security. And you agree with me that when it comes to security, it's a different matter altogether. Because our leaders must not be in traffic the same way as you and I will be. They are all giving priority, preferential treatment in a manner that they can traverse the routes and get there to their destinations very safely, smoothly, efficiently, and effectively. They are backed by law and by practice that all of us must give them way and open up for them to run through traffic very quickly. Because when it comes to security matters, it's a matter of being and ensuring that.
Right, engineer.
And here,
Engineer Akufo-Addo is Director General of the National Road Safety Authority, and he's been making the point that they're worried about some of these accidents and are doing more on our roads to ensure that there's safety on our roads. Now, the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority has intercepted a commercial truck transporting fish consignments destined to Burkina Faso for allegedly offloading its content at a warehouse in Kumasi. According to custom officials, the cargo truck did not possess appropriate documentation required to discharge the fish shipment. Ashanti Regional Commander of Customs, Assistant Commissioner Vivian Glover, expressed concern over possible breaches of regulatory compliance. There's more of this on myjoyonline.com. We'll take a break right now on Joy News Today. We'll be back with business.
Hello, welcome to the business segment on Joy News Today with me, Pius Kojo-Baka. The German government is partnering with Preforce Limited for the construction of a solar assembly plant at Baroro in the Ejusu municipality of the Ashanti region. The assembly plant will have the capacity to produce and assemble 75 megawatts of semi-knocked down solar-powered street lights and solar panels for sale in domestic and international markets. More in this report.
The total project cost of the solar assembly plant is estimated at 5.2 million euros. Preforce Limited will cover 79.1% of the investment, while the remaining 20.9% will be contributed by the facility investing for employment of Germany's KfW Development Bank. Managing Director for Preforce Limited, Wendy Ajmandua, says the company seeks to create jobs and provide apprenticeship opportunities to increase wealth. She says a total of 141 new jobs will be created at the solar plant. The company already employs 150.
Ghana might be, and Ghana Nkoso should be at your heart. Ghana Nkoso was say on some Nkoso.
Everyone must contribute to the advancement of our country, and in this case, the German government and Preforce Limited have made a groundbreaking grant to build a 75 megawatt solar assembly plant.
75 MW solar assembling plant.
That will reduce unemployment and provide electricity to nearby towns. If there is no work in communities, young people turn to crime and robbery as a means of livelihood support.
That was the reason behind our sword cutting today.
A representative of the German corporation, Stefan Kuhl, says the project is an integral part of special initiatives under its Decent Work for Just Transition. He says the corporation is working together with companies to create 100,000 good jobs and to provide conditions and social protection of its African partners.
The benefits for Preforce are a huge step in its corporate development, in its history. For the workforce, it's a huge step, not just in terms of more people working here, but also the quality, the integration of production processes here in Ghana. So it's not just import-export or something, but it is really production and assembly. That's a big leap for the company and for the environment, for the ecosystem. That's what I would say. And for IFE, my institution that invests here with the background of German taxpayer money, so to say, the intention clearly is to create good new jobs with a social impact. And that is what we can see here.
David Opokus reports for Joy News.
Ghana's ambassador to Burkina Faso, Boniface Gambila, has called for special protocol to help ease the delayed traders who transport tomatoes from Burkina Faso to Ghana face. He said that by the time these women traders across the 52 barriers dotted across the country, they end up losing most of the goods. Mr. Gambila made the appeal at the opening of the second annual Northern Trade, Industry and Investment Summit in Tamale.
The summit, organized by the Center for Policy and Development and other stakeholders like the University for Development Studies, the Northern Development Authority, the Ghana Export Promotion, among others, was under the theme Enhancing Trade and Industry in Northern Ghana through Capacity Development and Strategic Investment. Addressing the summit, Ghana's ambassador to Burkina Faso, Boniface Gambila, appealed to the police and customs to ease the challenges the traders face.
To call upon the state institutions like customs and the police service to review and give attention or special protocols to our traders who ply between Ghana and Burkina Faso. These our traders, when they are cutting and transporting perishable goods like tomatoes, and they are detained so long at these 52 barriers between Tamale and Paga, it affects their produce. Some get rotten, and these poor women and hard-working traders lose so much money in their ventures.
The Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Bagbin, said Parliament is committed in passing laws that would help improving trade in the area.
That's all for business. Sports comes up next.
Good afternoon, you're welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yabwa. Gospel group Team Eternity has done it again. The group that took the internet by storm with their hit single Diffe Diffe has officially launched their much-anticipated album. Despite the overwhelming success of their top-end track, which has been sitting pretty at #1 on Apple Music Top 100, the group faced delays in officially launching their full album. Yesterday, however, fans flocked East Legon to celebrate the occasion, showing their unwavering support.
Team Eternity's album launch event was nothing short of spectacular. Fans from all walks of life gathered, excited to witness the unveiling of new music from the group that has redefined gospel music with their innovative sound. The atmosphere was charged with patrons eagerly anticipating every moment.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine by God's grace.
So what is your favorite on the Testimony album?
Testimony.
What's your favorite?
Testimony.
The song Testimony. Why?
It inspires me a lot, and when I remember where God took me from and to where I am now, it's just God, and it's my testimony actually.
But there's a young lady that I wanted to speak to. Hi, join me. So tell me, what's your favorite song on the Testimony album?
Defe.
Can you give me a line?
I really don't know.
Being here is something that I would say is the best decision for me. Putting the gospel music out there, I think it's something good, yeah. To win more souls tonight.
You're one of the patrons, so how's it going for you so far?
It's been so amazing. I can't even explain. They just finished playing my favorite song and I've been dancing throughout. So amazing. Yeah, I wasn't shocked because I went for their live recording last year and it was a big song. Everybody was going crazy. When it was dropping everything. So seeing this happen, there's no surprise. Yeah, really.
I presume the song in the background is your favorite, or it's one of your favorites?
Of course, it is. Like, it's vibey. So when
you give me a dance move. I can see you girls are hyped up.
I'm already feeling happy, more than happy.
Team Eternity's music director Nanayal shared insight on the group's vision and the impacts they hope to make.
I'm very excited about how the album has turned out. It's just great joy how people have supported us, how the album is still, how Diffe Diffe is still #1 on Apple Music, and it's just, I'm so grateful to God.
Now, as the music director, how do you see, especially the gospel industry, how do you see it faring? Would you think that you guys are setting a new pace when it comes to gospel music?
I think we are part of those setting new paces. I don't think we are the premium or something, but we are just part of. There are a couple of groups and ministers also doing wonderfully well. Yeah. the song is just doing its own thing, and it has rather given us pressure to actually work harder the next time we release an album. So it has given us more work actually, so that we don't come down. We always
go up. That the popularity is actually doing more harm than good, or?
I'm telling you.
Their innovative approach to gospel music not only captures the hearts of fans, but also paves the way for a new era in the genre. As their journey unfolds, one thing is certain. The world will be hearing a lot more from Team Eternity. Jacqueline and Sumayoboy's report, read to you.
This is a wrap for the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Sumayoboy. Over to you, Aisha.
It's really bad. I mean, hearing this in this day and age.
Yes, apparently it was from 2016. He denied, he settled the lawsuit. I remember we did that story last year, November, and the footage just surfaced again, and he's now apologized.
It's so not on. Thank you for bringing us Showbiz. That will be it for the bulletin. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. Log on to myjournline.com. There's more of the news and updates of all the developing stories. Do enjoy the rest of our programs.